Hold on, guys. We're there. We're there.
Okay, now we're done. Now we're getting road mic, so it's good
All
to go.
right, let's start over.
So thank you guys. All right, Sean, go.
I guess we got to start over again.
Yeah, we're starting over.
All right. Good evening. Tonight, the dummies are going to be doing our Glenfiddich 12-year-old review. We also have Dr. Scotch swinging by for the entire evening talking to us about E150.
That'd be great.
What's in the whiskey, how it affects the whiskey, why you guys should care or not care. We're also doing what's in the dram at the end of the show, and we have our patron after party. So stick around for all that, guys.
Oh, yay!
This
Look at
time
that.
it's
Just like
working.
professionals. Never knew anything happened. Just like that.
Just ignore that first
Whatever.
minute. Just ignore
Man behind the
it.
curtain got it all
I don't know.
fixed
The
for
mic
us.
just said, I'm not going to work.
Right before the show.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Anyway, guys, guess what? It's Thursday.
Happy
Thank you for
Thursday,
being here.
everybody.
Oh, thank
Cheers.
goodness.
It has been a super long week,
Hallelujah.
and we lost an icon.
We did. God damn.
Man, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
Big bummer.
You nailed it with your freaking Facebook post, though. Screw you, 2020.
That was it. I mean, I know we
Now we even lost the soundtrack for 2020.
I know, man. I'll tell you.
Man.
What a
deal.
crappy. We've lost some really good musicians in the last, couple of years, really. But man, feels like last
I mean, I
year
guess
was
it just keeps coming, right?
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, it's October. It's almost over. We can get through this.
Oh, we got less than a quarter left, guys.
We're going to make
no
it
one
better.
else died.
We're going to make it better.
I like that you're optimistic that next year's going to be better. I'll drink to that,
We'll
brother.
have vaccine. Everybody think I'll
I'll
back up.
drink to that. So
I can't wait till I get the vaccine. I get a big button that says I took the vaccine. I don't need to wear my mask.
Tattoo.
No, because
Is it going to be like a red A or?
yeah,
Oh.
antibodies.
I don't know what's going on here.
All right, so let's get down to our review for this week.
Well, before we do that, we got to
Oh.
acknowledge some people. It's
Yeah,
online.
we should probably read through
Is
it,
somebody
right?
online?
Yeah.
Do
Let's see. We
Wow,
got,
there's a couple.
Bob H. Isn't he like out of town somewhere? I think.
Like in LA or?
I got a bunch of texts I haven't read
Get
yet.
back
I wouldn't
from
go
LA.
there.
Right? Oh, we got a new member. Aw, man, look at this guy.
Durbin,
He's all in.
you're the man,
Thanks for
Durbin.
becoming a new member.
This guy got up early. Amsterdam.
Yep.
Right?
Got up
Yeah,
at
man.
4 a.m. to join
Cheers.
us.
to you,
New
bro.
Thank you, sir.
Patreon. Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for that. All right. So Mario's on. Mario.
Comes down under.
Evening.
Is that
Likes
a
to
new
keep
one?
it clean.
Mario.
It's like 10 a.m. and
John
and down under.
Fokker.
Hey Nick, I think I've got a shipment that's supposed to go, or I need to get an owl going to your house.
Nick, I sent you a patron message. I hope you got it, and I hope you're excited.
Greg
Trooper.
Bowers.
Oh.
Kim Rederick.
Bob's drinking Glenfiddich in a paper cup. Man,
Hey
we feel
man,
your pain.
I've been there, brother.
Been there.
Been there, done
many
it.
times.
Yep.
It happens. It happens.
Steve A, our moderator's on, and so is Sunday Evening Scotch. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Appreciate
Mikey.
you. Yeah, we had some
Alejandro.
good
Brothers,
stuff.
I saw Brian up
Alejandro's
there.
here.
Man, you're flying through the net. Alejandro and
A couple
Mr.
people saying
Mr.
no sound.
Wu.
We got that fixed.
Miss Porter, nice to see you.
Hey, there's Brian. Yeah, nice.
Mr. Wu.
Bobby J, take two. You're
George
right.
Kaplan in the house.
I see George
His ass.
Kaplan got one of those SMWS American bottles, huh?
That's always nice,
Watching
right?
you.
Oh, we got us another super chat, guys.
Hey,
There's
Bobby
some-
J. There's
Eddie,
some
rest
cake.
in
Bobby.
peace.
Yeah,
You're
rest
right.
in peace to Eddie.
For Eddie.
For Eddie.
Cheers.
Well, guys, it's going to be a long night. We got lots to talk about. Let's do our podcast intro and
We
hit it
got a
up.
lot.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this in 3, 2, what's up, everybody?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase. I am Drew.
I'm Sean.
Mark.
And I'm Andrew today.
Man, you got a really good show tonight, Dr. Scotch.
Well, Dr. Scotch isn't here.
Well, he's gotta go
I'm,
get
I'm
Dr.
getting ahead of myself, but
Well-
he's going to make an appearance.
He will. He's in the green room.
But
He's
got
in the green room.
Drinking
He's
all this
backstage with Jimmy Fallon. Is that what he's
Yeah,
doing?
he is. Pretty
He
crazy.
wishes he was.
Right?
Well, I mean, that's where we keep the good stuff.
So what are we doing tonight?
Well, first we're talking about this Glenfiddich.
We got to talk about the Glenfiddich. So,
All right.
but what else are we talking about? So for you podcasters, Dr. Scotch will be here talking about a little bit of E150. Sean, I think, did more research this week than I remember doing when I was talking to Dr. Scotch.
See, you almost did it. You almost tripped. I saw that.
So Dr. Scotch has a lot of information as well. And I understand there's actually a bottle of E150 in the house.
There is.
There is.
So we'll see what that goes on. What else we got? Yeah, caramel coloring. We'll talk through that. What's Scotch in the news? What's in the dram? What's that?
What's in the drain? That's something we're doing at the end of the show lately. It's kind of fun. We've all pre-poured something. It's been sitting over here for a little bit, and we all know what it is, but you don't. And so you get basically to go through it and ask us some questions and see if you can guess what we're drinking.
All right.
Keep it simple.
It's fun. It's something a little fun. And since Sean didn't pour his, he says he doesn't know. But
I mean, I kind of.
He knows.
we all kind of picked our own, so it'll be fun.
I know what it
I
is.
think there's some curveballs in there.
There was a lot of pressure on me to pour something.
It was.
I don't know.
And we had to open
Anyway,
the bottle. as
Drew
well.
picked something for me, and it looked good.
Back on topic. Glenfiddich, 12-year-old. This guy, every place, every bar, every liquor store out there.
Wait a minute. 5 years into this.
Oh, yeah.
5 years into this,
Yeah.
and we're getting to Glenfiddich 12.
Yeah.
The most
What the hell,
popular
guys?
bottle, the most popular single malt whiskey brand in the world.
For God's
1.2
sakes.
million cases can't be
I-
wrong.
I know that there are some that were just like, of course we've reviewed that. Like
You
we'll
That's what
go
I
into the
said.
liquor store and skip right over stuff, thinking that we've reviewed it, and we've had it
A million times.
million
I mean-
times, but never actually done a review on it. So
I was
Oh,
that's
kind
yeah.
of
one.
embarrassed.
I was looking
Yeah.
through this. I'm like, oh yeah, we done.
Well,
No,
at
we
least we
haven't.
can keep the dummies label.
Yeah, we're
Obviously.
still dummies.
you go.
Absolutely. We're not going to change
It
that.
happens.
It
So,
happens.
Glenfiddich 12. Tell us about Glenfiddich a little bit. I mean, obviously, since this is the intro to their core lineup. This is it, right?
This is so Glenfiddich. It's the Valley of the Deer, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Valley of the Deer. They're 1.2 million cases a year. They're huge, and I don't know what they just have good material.
They've changed a little bit over the years. They're back in the 60s, 70s. It wasn't a 12-year-old. It was called, what was it? Classic malt or
Yeah.
Pure malt.
Pure
Pure
malt.
malt.
Thank you.
So Glenfiddich was the
Right.
first to ever define their whiskey as a single malt whiskey.
Bingo. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, to advertise it that way. They called it a pure malt, which was innovative for the time. And so you can see their marketing. They've always had the triangle bottles.
Yep.
Now, one thing that people were shocked about was that Glenfiddich changed their packaging this year. So their bottles. This is an older bottle of the 12, like a couple of years old. That in 2019 and 2020 they changed to a different bottle. And I thought you had one on here. I think it's probably at your bar.
Yeah.
The newer bottling.
Yes.
And it's a little different. It's still the triangular bottle, but it's just a little different.
We
But
both
the-
have some of that pure malt, and I think it's got an 8-year statement on it.
I would have to look at my bottle because mine's old. I got mine from my grandfather.
Yeah, I've got the can with mine too. I'm pretty sure it's got an 8 on it. But it's interesting that they're the first ones to actually market that, the single
Yeah,
malt.
pretty good.
So what do you guys think about it? I mean, what do we give it?
2375.
So a little bit above average.
325 and a
I mean, you're
2.0.
talking like a $40 bottle too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's. I
So
mean,
I'm drinking
Readily
right now.
available.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it's just a good malt. I
It's-
mean, it's sweet, but not too sweet. It's
It's
kind of
never there.
malty, but not too malt. I mean, it's a balance.
It's
They do
got a
really good
nice
job.
little spice on the finish. I mean, it's
I gotta tell you, it's really sweet in the glass right now.
a good, well balanced
It
dram.
is.
I don't have
mean,
any problems with it. And for $40, I feel like I got what I
Right.
paid
You
for.
can blend with it. You can blend with
So-
it and not be upset with it. You can drink it neat if you want, just to an everyday drinker.
it holds water pretty well for 40 ABV.
So yeah, 40 ABV, 12 years old. But do we
Was
have
it 45 or
maturation? It's
40?
just oak, right? This is just ex-bourbon,
I
American
don't
oak.
I don't remember.
Gosh, we had all that together.
It's on the review, right? I'm just trying to remember. There's no crazy. Well, no, it says matured in the finest Oloroso sherry and bourbon cask. So
Yeah.
there is a sherry note to it.
There's a hint.
Now-
Sherry and bourbon.
Not
obvious-
very strong.
That's what gives it the good blend.
Right, we gotta say it's chill filtered, right?
Oh
We
yeah,
gotta say
non-chill
that.
filtered, probably colored,
Gotta have some coloring in there.
possibly
I'm sure.
colored because the color's pretty decent on it. So
Well, I would say they have
It's
to
pretty
put
light.
coloring in it in
keep it consistent.
the quantities that they produce.
Yep.
To keep
And
it
we're gonna talk
consistent.
about that
exactly. That's a good segue into that. But I think we're happy with it. Tons of reviews were good. I
There's-
think pretty much everybody agrees with our take on it.
We've had quite a bit of views on it and quite a bit of comments so far, and I would say a majority of people are agreeing with us for the price. You can't go wrong. A lot of people have said that's their entry into Scotch world, which is a great entry
mean,
level Scotch.
So that,
Honestly, for entry level, you're probably looking at Glenfiddich 12, Macallan 12,
Glenlivet.
Glenlivet, you know,
Yeah.
maybe a Monkey Shoulder or Johnny Walker.
Balvenie, maybe.
Maybe Balvenie. That's pretty common. But I mean, those are the ones, right? Like those are the ones that you're most likely to find easily, that'll be readily available, that are priced right, and that will kind of be your first like, hey, dip your toe in the water and see if you like this stuff.
and having had these, if I went to somebody's house and they offered me a Scotch and it was one of these, I'm like, I wouldn't turn my nose up at it because I readily enjoy these bottles. So why
Let
would
me
I?
ask the question. How many people that are watching right now have never had Glenfiddich 12?
That's an interesting question.
If there's,
I would say everybody. I would say 100%.
I'll probably agree with Cohen on this. Glenfiddich, I think, is better than Glenlivet 12. I think if I remember right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think you said that
Yeah.
recently. Actually.
And I would agree with Steve A that Macallan 12 is a little pricey for entry level these days. It is a little.
Macallan likes their own juice.
Yeah.
Yes, and well, I'll be honest with you. I noticed in the grocery store this week that the old 25% tariff,
It's up.
it's hit, buddy. It's on the
Yep.
shelves now. I mean, I was at Kroger and I was like, Jesus, I was pissed.
It sucks, man. There's nothing you can do about
I'm
it.
curious. Everybody put a 1 in your chat if you've had Glenlivet 12 or Glenfiddich 12. Put 0 if you haven't.
Nocturnal hasn't had it.
Nocturnal. Weirdly, I haven't had it. There's your 100%.
Dang it! I'm already out.
Well, no. See, the thing is, it's so common. You think, well, if you're a whiskey connoisseur, you think, why would I go back if I hadn't had it now? Why would I go back to it? Because I know what I like in good whiskey.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, answer.
So if someone's feeling that way, I would say you have to go back because this is foundational. It's core range. It is the most common out there. I want to know what that is. If I've spent all my time in higher end scotches, I want to know what this is.
Well, that and at some point you're going to have questions from somebody who's new to Scotch, right? And they're more than likely going to have, a Glenmoe 10 or a Glenfiddich 12. And so you're going to have to be able to relate those Scotches. Like when you're telling them, hey, you should spend another $30, $40, $50, why should I? What's so much better about the one that you're talking about than the one I'm drinking now? And if you've never had that one, how are you going to say, well, it's just great?
Yeah.
Like, you should try these. They're worth trying.
So what's your percentage, Drew?
It's down a lot. I got 5 people that I've counted so far that have not had it.
5 of probably 20. So
Yeah.
that's 25%, 25%
Yeah,
of
that's
people haven't had it.
surprising actually.
And keep in mind, until a week ago, well, I guess we hadn't reviewed it. We'd had it, but we hadn't.
Oh yeah,
reviewed
we've
it.
had
So-
tons of it.
Oh yeah, I've had my share
But
of it.
still, my point is,
Jeez.
until we put it on the same scale and rated it all the same, it's
I agree.
not
So
the same.
I will tell you my Glenfiddich story.
All right.
Because it was one of my early introductions to Scotch, long before I knew you guys.
Yep.
When I was going to culinary school. Now my family's a whiskey family anyway, so I'd already had Scotch, Irishes, bourbons. We're whiskey.
What kind of whiskey they make in Poland?
Potato vodka. Anyway, so when I was going to culinary school, one of the guys in my class was from Spain. He was from Barcelona, and he was a Glenfiddich drinker. He loved it. And so he and I would ride to class together, and we had class in the evening. And every day, 5 days a week, he would pick me up. We would drive to the bar and have a glass of Glenfiddich, and then go to school. Every day.
Glenfiddich 12 ounce.
Yep. And so, I mean, that was just how he rolled. That was like,
So you're saying you've had it?
Yeah, a couple times,
So-
But it was, it was prior to like a connoisseur stage. It was more like, hey, we're just going to go have a glass, and it was a nice glass, and nothing wrong with it.
And the
Just drink
price
it
is
down.
right.
And the price is right. So I never really, you don't have to think about it too hard, and you don't have to get upset about it if you drop it on the floor, I guess, because it's not, going to break your bank. But it is a nice sipping glass.
If
And
you drop it on the floor, they're making enough. You can get another.
True enough. True enough.
It's not single
That's
cask.
very true.
So,
Yep.
so I mean, I think that we scored it well, and it's a little above average bottle, and I think we gave it some props for the price that it is and the quality
Nothing
that you
wrong
get for
with
the
it.
price.
I'd kill it on a fishing boat all day, every day.
Yep.
It's sweeter than I thought.
I know it's really sweet tonight.
It's nice. So should we call the doc?
He's around here somewhere, isn't he?
I can
We
see if I
should
can
get the
find-
doc.
Call that man.
Yeah,
We got a
Let's go
lot
get
of
it.
questions for him today.
Yeah, we got a pretty big topic to cover, honestly. I'm really glad that you dug deep into this because I'm going to learn something. I'm going to be one of the viewers and just kind of sit back and ask stupid questions because I really didn't dig into this one
Good
as much
stuff.
as I normally do.
Let's go find him.
All right.
Hey, the doc is
Hey
here.
guys, what's going on? I hear you have some really good science to talk about.
I have so much science,
Oh
so
my
many
gosh.
questions to ask you about.
Well,
So many
I do the research sometimes,
All right.
and I'll help you.
Sometimes.
We've been doing this for better part of 5 years now, right? Over
At least
5
on
years.
YouTube.
On YouTube for 5 years. Yeah.
And in that time, there's been a lot of comments and questions about E150A and what part it plays in our whiskey and how it affects the flavor.
Very
and there's a
good
lot
point.
of people that are negative on it, like actively searching out bottles that do not contain any sort of coloring whatsoever. That's fine. Totally understand that. But then there's a lot of people that beat up bottles that do have some coloring. And so I thought it would be interesting to ask you some questions about what E150 is, what it does to the whiskey, and maybe
Kind of the
maybe we
wiki.
can do some experiments to see.
Does it matter? Should we care?
Right?
Well, I think we're going to find out tonight.
Okay.
I'm very excited about this.
So let's go back in time a little bit too. We've talked about this before too, and kind of start with Mark and I back in the Scotland trip 3 years ago, 3 years ago.
It's been long.
At least
right?
2,
Yeah,
3
Ah,
three
it
or
feels like
four.
it's forever.
4
But
or 5,
we,
yeah.
we were over there actually with Roy, and we were drinking at the bar, and Roy just left. And the bartender at the time, he was doing something for some whiskey club over there, whatever. And he says, "Hey, you guys ever had E150?" We're like, "What's E150?" Well, we kind of knew a little bit
Have
about it, but
Just gonna pour it.
right. So he had a freaking thing of it. Now, the point was, we tried it. We could totally taste it. It was a long story short. You talked about it. It's like, well, was it test correctly? Did we do it? No.
It's got to be controlled experiment.
So it's I'm actually I
Analytical
know
tools.
I know going into this that we know that's going to have flavor to it, but our flavor profile is probably skewed. So I'm actually excited to see in a real test environment, in a sense, to kind of see what happens here with what coloring, smell, taste, all these things.
So I happen to bring a little bottle of Distiller's Caramel. That's the E150A. So you can get it like $6 on Amazon. Anybody can get it.
There we go. That
So
came
if you're making your own, if you're distilling your own whiskey, which is illegal in the United States, but if you do it in other countries, you can add coloring to it if you want and make it look like a real fancy, make your moonshine.
For the record, this is a clear bottle. The glass is clear. I just want you. It's not a
It's
brown.
dark.
It's not a brown bottle. Oh my gosh.
And essentially, E150. So, has anybody ever made caramel, where you take that nice
I have.
white sugar and you cook it and it gets darker and darker and darker?
And you put it in
That's
a
essentially what they
syringe.
do
No,
here.
That's wrong.
Is they make it darker and darker and darker until it's the color they want. And it's essentially carbohydrates or sugar, whatever they want, whatever they use. There's not really a set. And they just cook it until it's dark. And then it's nice and concentrated, and they put some water in it to make it fluid and sell it.
So I did a little bit of research, and so I have just a few questions. So there are 4 different kinds of E150. It's not just the one that we all talk about all the time.
Correct.
There's A, B, C, and D.
That's correct.
And the difference being that the E150A is just the carbohydrates. There's no additives
Correct.
put in it.
The E150A is really best for spirits, and the other thing about E150A is it's more color fast than the other E150s. So that means that you can put light on it, and it's not going to break down really quickly. So it will stand up to light. So that's kind of the beauty of putting it in a clear glass bottle. It's not going to fade when it sits in the sun. Now it may fade a little bit, but the other E150s, B, C, and D, they are generally a different pH. They're not kind of a neutral pH, and so they tend to break down more in adverse conditions. So you lose your
Okay.
coloring. That's why a lot of those are more food additives, and this is more a liquid spirit additive.
So then, let me get the ones right. So E150B has sulfites added to it
Correct.
as a reactant.
So how's that?
Well, essentially, it's a sulfur compound that is really stable in acidic environment. So if you have like a tomato paste or something like that that's really acidic, and you add a little color to it, you can add E150B, and it's gonna hold that color better because it's an acidic environment. It's designed to hold up in an acidic environment, and it won't break down.
So is that the coloring McKellen uses? Why I get that sulfur?
No.
Oh, okay. I had to ask.
Scotch has to use E150A.
Okay.
Yes, because it's a spirit based or spirit designed and color fast.
Okay.
But I saw something. So,
So
E150C has ammonium as a
Yeah,
reactant.
so that's more
What
for
the what?
basic foods. So that is one like if you have caramel flavored yogurt, and they probably put coloring in it to make it look like it's got caramel in it, but it's E150C because it's designed for basic food.
I'm not eating that anymore.
So it's got a little bit of color. Well, anything you
Well-
see that says caramel coloring, like soft drinks,
Yes.
I
caramel
gave 'em
coloring,
up.
caramel
Yep.
coloring.
Yeah, but I
same
mean,
thing.
to your point, there's a lot of foods you don't really realize that, vanillas, cherries, all this stuff. Technically, the flavor's clear. You can't. It's white or whatever.
They've
They
all got-
add coloring to it to
Yeah.
make it look like it's.
I feel like I need to go take a shower in the crying game.
Well-
man, like I feel dirty.
Well, see, the thing is, you don't
That's on you.
because
Yeah. Sorry about you.
it's essentially burnt sugar. I mean, it's not toxic. I mean, it's not something you have to worry about from a health perspective.
Well, and the research that we read, they did say there's a limit. You
There-
did tell
there-
me it's.
Yes, so
Crazy.
so I did a little more research on
You don't
this.
want to drink the bottle.
So there's a couple things that we're going to rely on some other whiskey tubers, actually the Whiskey Tribe, who they did a study in one of their bottles where they took one of their bourbons, their Eleanor bourbons. They filled a bottle of water, and then they added E150 to it to see how much it took. Well, it ended up taking about like 3.5 milliliters of E150 to take a bottle of water and turn it to the exact same color as their deep, rich bourbons.
Is that a lot?
So 2.5 mils. That's about what worked out to be about 70 drops. I think it was 70 drops of U150. The average daily intake of this, the recommended average daily intake, so that means every day for the rest of your life, you'll still be fine, was 24 milliliters. So you'd have to drink about 8 bottles of whiskey a day.
Well, that's whiskey that had zero color.
Yes,
And you took it to
was
a dark
only
color.
color. And they took it to, so if you can get through 8 bottles of whiskey a day, I don't think the E150 is your problem.
you're
that's
telling
not
me
gonna,
there's
that's
a
not gonna kill you.
So you don't need to worry about that. And that's a deep, rich color coming from water. There's nothing
Right.
from the barrels. So a lot of these things, you'll have some color from the barrels. You add a little E150 to get it all uniform, and then you'll go with it. So we got a couple experiments. Do we want to hit those first? Do you
Should
have
we
other
hit
questions?
D?
Talk about D.
D has both sulfites and ammonia as reactants.
So I don't know if that's a matter of like trying to hit a specific
And
pH.
that one seemed like it was for a little more specialized.
Is that heat
stuff.
stable? Is that what the
It
one that
might
that you
be.
can put in like breads and things that
Oh, because it's gonna.
you want it to be nice and brown?
Soft drinks.
Oh, soft drinks. Okay, so that one you're putting in, that's a seriously.
I think it
specific
was
environment.
more for the color range
Oh, okay.
than it was for anything else.
Yeah.
It has a stronger negative charge and a wide pH range, widely used in the soft drinks industry.
Yeah,
So,
okay. So there's
but they use it in cosmetics, in pharmaceuticals, in
That's true.
Like it's not just beverages; it's in a lot baked goods,
Damn
all
near
kinds of
everything.
stuff. Yeah, your Twinkie has some in there, right?
Yeah, but that
Um,
stuff will last forever.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
kidding.
maybe that's
See?
why.
Take the Mars with you.
So, Dr. Scotch, we need analytical tools to see if we can identify, right?
Well, let me ask you this question before you spin up the thing. If this is such a market, and are there companies that make this to a standard? So if I'm a distillery and I know I need some of this, am I going to one company that makes the coloring to a specific standard that I want? Just like everything else, you can get your peat, you can get your malt. I go to a company to
Yep.
give me my malt. Do they do the same
So,
thing with E150?
Yes, they do. And because
think
you
so.
don't have to specify, like, none of the regulatory agencies have to specify, like, you have to make this with beet sugar.
Okay.
And do it in a certain process. It's
Okay.
any kind of carbohydrate, you're heating it up, and
It's gonna turn to sugar.
it's you're basically breaking down the sugars, and it's a complex process, poorly understood is basically what everybody says.
Well-
But there's a range of colors once you do that. So based on like how you cook it down, how quickly you cook it down, what the carbohydrate was when you started, you can get a little bit of variation in the coloring. So there was a range that they talked about. And so, what most of these companies are doing is they're not taking clear spirit and then dumping in a bunch of this to make it super dark and fake you out. Most of the coloring that they're using is to make a consistent product.
Across the big-
So if you have a bottle of Johnny Walker Red and you've sold half of those on the shelf and you order some more Johnny Walker Red and it's from a whole different batch and you put that on the shelf, they want those batches to be the same. And the only way to do that when you're using, multiple different barrels, as everybody on here can attest, if you've got 2 single barrels that have, from the same distillery that were aged in the same Dunnage
Stored
house for the
same
same
day.
amount of time, they're going to come out completely different.
Right.
And so the coloring is there to even out. So they're adding minuscule amounts. So if it's 70 drops to take a clear bottle to a dark bourbon,
Oh, it's got to take.
that 5 drops, 4 drops, very little
I'm
to just
envisioning,
kind of
though,
balance out those color gradients.
I'm this distillery manager. I make Scotch, and do I have one company that I go to consistently?
Oh, of
There's
course.
yeah.
probably one or two
Yeah,
companies out
absolutely
there
you do.
that have the market.
They make
and
this by the
then-
barrel.
And then when I contact you, you're the company that makes this, and I'm like, hey, I need some more color, and you're like, well, here's the color palette. What do you want? And I'm like, oh, I want this light one, and I need some of this dark one. I have no. How does that work?
You can get different shades of it, but generally it's really the different shade you get has to do with the concentration of the caramel coloring in that container. So you can get like 5% color or 50% color or 100% color depending on how concentrated you want it. But
So
it's the
then-
same stuff.
Then the question comes: whose job is that in the distillery? Is it the distillery manager? Is he the guy that has to make the consistent
Quality
color?
control.
Yes.
Somebody.
So they're
has
taking
to-
a sample when they marry all those barrels together and get it to the right ABV. They're going to take a sample, mass spec, I guess.
Well,
or
no,
how they-
there's simple light refraction. You can get the
There you go.
color tone of the whiskey compared to your normal
Base.
compared to your base spirit.
It tells you how
and
many
you say,
drops to
okay,
put in.
I need to go from 220 nanometers to 250 nanometers.
2 drops.
And based on the last 100 years, I know to do that I need 50 drops.
So it's like the Lowe's paint thing. You go
It
up
is,
there.
that's exactly
you
what
get
it is.
exactly.
Then
But I
match my
mean,
color.
their shades are so like, unless you have a computer, you're not going to notice it.
It's
when they
really
get
tough.
out.
Yeah,
Right,
they can
yeah.
do it, and it's very.
That's
but
really
but
cool.
they've got analytical tools.
They do. So,
All right, Dr.
Today-
Scotch. Oh,
Wait a
what's the
minute.
question? Oh, well, shit.
I got myself a little Highland Park 12 here. That's really good. I'll drink to
That's what I'm drinking
SoCal.
too.
So I'm going
Tramp.
to. We'll start with this one. SoCal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, SoCal. Appreciate the
Super
super
chat,
chat.
Yellow guy
SoCal,
number
man.
5.
Thank you, sir. Let's get into this.
I do want to call out too, by the way, the cool glasses that you got us.
Oh yes, check these out.
So
So
I've adulterated two of them.
Glenn Karen put out this this set of colored glasses online. They only had 350 sets, but they did say they were back orderable. So I have a feeling they're planning on making more. But the whole set comes in various colors, and it makes it really cool and fun to be able to do quick blind tastings and not have to mess with your glasses. I do want to call out before we get into this too. I noticed that our good friend Scotch in the Bayou's on. Lee, be careful down there. I feel for you guys, man. This is just horrible. What a season for you guys. I hope you're got the hatches batted down and you're ready to go.
All right.
Okay, so what are we doing here, Doc?
So what we're going to do is I want you to open that bottle of E150 and I want you to smell it.
Smell the bottle.
So you're going to be smelling the raw spirit. And tell me
Hey,
what
everyone.
you're smelling.
smells like caramel.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
kind of like the equivalent of like food dye.
I mean,
It's
it-
I gotta
that
tell you,
strong.
honestly, it's so strong caramel. It reminds me of like Indian food. It's strong.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, it's. I've made caramel in the kitchen 100 times, and that's caramel for sure.
stronger than
So
the
what
hell
you can
my
see
gosh.
here,
yeah.
what we're starting with, so one of the best examples I wanted to describe and talk to
Keep
you
the lid
today
on this guy.
was
Yeah, it
starting
stains.
with a fairly neutral, not over the top whiskey, and add coloring to it and see if they can tell. Because when you think about it, if you're starting from water, it's so neutral. You're more likely to be able to detect, and the differences there. So what we're doing here is we're going to start with the Glenmoe Original. So Glenmoe is well known that they take this original and then they make all their Santas and everything out of it. So this is kind of a good base spirit. Not a lot of barrel influence in it, but there's some. Probably there's already color in it because it's just a 10-year-old. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to add 4 drops of coloring to it. So you'll be able to see it. I don't know how maybe
Get
take
close
that
up
up to
there.
the
Let me
camera.
get the camera so you can see what we're doing here.
All right, get to the camera so I can see how close. I'm sorry. So this is Glenmoe 10.
Glenmoe 10. So
Look at
it's
that
pretty.
color.
It's lightly colored.
Real light, like straw color.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty light.
All right, and you're gonna put 4 drops in?
4 drops in here.
Do me a favor and put a drop on my finger. I want to feel how thick that stuff is. How is it? It's actually not as. I thought it was going to be like super thick and sticky. I mean, it's sticky a little bit, but it's a little more viscous or liquidy than
and
I thought.
oddly enough, it's not alcohol based. It's basically water based colorant. So I thought that was unique. So
Hang
I'm
on.
going to start
That's
this
good
with
stuff.
That's crazy. That's
That is
crazy.
nuts.
4 drops.
Wow.
4 drops.
Let me see that.
Wait a minute. Let me give it a good shake.
4 drops turned it into Dalmore.
No, we weren't gonna call names.
Damn.
Come on now.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you pour me a glass of Dalmore,
I'm drinking
gonna
Oh, I
drink
am
it.
too.
But
No doubt.
it is a dark colored whiskey, and they make no bones about
And
whether
lots
or not
of-
they put
lots
So
it
you
in.
can play with that. While they do that,
Bottlers.
I'm going to take one of these glasses and drop 4 drops in it.
That is
then-
crazy.
That's incredible. That's like a sherry
for,
bomb.
For the podcasters, that whiskey went from a light straw colored whiskey to a dark, almost like
Ruby.
yeah.
All right, you guys look away so you don't.
Still smells like Glenmoe.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. So do you detect any aroma on it? You guys.
No, I mean it smells like Glenmorangie, and that was with 4 drops. So I mean, how much are we really talking about putting into a bottle, Andrew? Like 4 drops in a bottle? If you were just like evening out the color and it was reasonably close?
I would doubt that much because you don't change a bottle that much. Well,
True.
of course, that's per bottle. So admittedly, I don't know.
So I mean, we're talking about 4 drops
Uh-oh.
in an ounce of whiskey
yes.
versus 4 drops in 25 and a half
It would
ounces of
probably
whiskey.
be
Right.
more than 4 drops in one. 4 drops in one bottle. You probably would have a little bit more than that, but I don't know. How much.
But I mean, not 25 times more, right?
God, that smells like.
So I mean,
candy.
we're going heavy even with 4 drops.
Correct. So what I want you to do, guys, to do is pass these around. Make every effort not to look at them,
Okay.
but do your nosing and a taste. But really try not, try and close your eyes when you have a glass. If you look, you're going to be able to tell
There
because
might
while
be
these glasses
just-
do have some color to them,
You can look down.
you'll
and see.
still be able to
So
see.
I, for podcasters, I just poured another glass of
There it
Glenmoe
is.
Original.
That's
There it
unblind.
is.
Huh? I wanted
Well, we're
to
gonna-
smell them.
We're gonna do it here.
Well, yeah, but now you just.
I think there's a big difference.
Well, let's do it blind and we'll
Oh.
see.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the whole point of the
I
experiment,
know.
the analytical tool.
Just doing
Oh.
it. After visually seeing it,
screwed
I
up
think there's a
then,
big
I'm sorry.
difference.
All right, no, we'll see. So if you guys want to take your turns,
So now we got to
Yep.
pick which one's
now,
which.
now,
Don't, don't
now,
look.
now it's blind.
All
So
right,
now it's
so
blind.
now we've for the podcasters, we've got 2 glasses that are masked. We can't see what's in them.
I'm looking
one
up as I'm
has,
smelling.
One has Glenmoe, and one has Glenmoe with 4 drops of E150. And we're assuming that they had the same
Man,
amount in the glass when you poured them, right?
Yep.
They did.
Okay.
Andrew's good about that.
Yeah,
It's analytical.
I'm
close
gonna say
enough.
that
I mean,
I'm gonna say this one is, but I can't. I have no idea.
just remember what you're thinking. Remember your call.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
It's
dun.
so. I mean, I'm guessing based on maybe a hint of something, but God, it's almost undetectable if anything.
Well, and if you just calibrated your nose on this, that
When I mean, I guess I didn't.
I will say
calibrated my
that
nose.
that one has a little bit more of a floral nose about it, and the other one
Wow.
it's tamped down just a little bit.
Okay.
But I
That's not
can't
what
tell.
I expect.
Oh, what's that?
Here's for natural color and non-chill filter, The Loss of a Legend, and Mark Some gas money.
Some gas, buddy. Thank you, Zach, for the super
Thank you,
chat.
Zach.
Cheers.
Right on. Hang
So you
on,
guys
Zach.
also
I'll
have to
get
taste
you.
them. You can nose them, but you also have to taste them.
I thought we were just nosing first.
Well, both. I mean, we'll get back around if you want to.
Okay.
I have a guess.
And that's fine.
So one way, I really don't know the difference. Let's all three guess at the same time.
Everyone said he would go with 1 drop to be more realistic.
Well, I think you can. Admittedly, this is really dark, so there's a dramatic change in color there. And so you're right. If and maybe
Well, you know what? We've got another colored glass.
well, so my next thing is we're going to do water. We're going to do water, and we'll see how much 2 drops does in the water.
God,
and make it
man,
look like a normal whiskey.
I'm
All right, sip them. Go ahead and sip
I think
them.
that one's the based on the nose, but
What do you guys think? What do you think, Mark? Based on the
I'm
nose.
waiting. I'll based on the nose. You're gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Based on the nose, I'm going to say that the gold glass was unaltered.
Okay.
Hang on.
correct.
And the blue glass had
Now, can you
the
taste?
E150. I don't know. We'll see.
I
So
need
I'm
that
going to
blue
do
one,
the
yeah.
same thing.
What, are you saying he was right, or did you say it
I
all?
didn't say.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm gonna say the blue one's unaltered. I'm gonna say that's the blue one's Glenmoe, and the gold one is Glenmoe with 4
I
drops.
mean, it's probably some.
He said it's probably.
No, I
Hang on.
mean-
I owe Zach.
Now the beauty is,
Thanks, brother.
You guys did. You were able to calibrate your nose a little bit, but you didn't calibrate your palate.
So I think that the purple one. I shouldn't say anything. Never mind.
All right.
I'll wait till you guys are. Well, I don't want
You know, judge. You
to skew their taste either.
Just water.
I
trying to
think
clear
I
the
think I
palate.
have something that's going to give me a little bit of a clearer picture. I'm hoping.
Andrew, did you add water to the non-E150 glass?
I did not.
No.
I added only
The-
color.
The only thing there's a slight difference on the nose, but I don't really get a whole lot of difference on the
The
palate.
palate, I got nothing.
The only thing I got in the palate was I felt like one had a longer finish.
No, man. So the blue one, the blue one's got something else in it. The blue one's different.
It is on the nose.
I think so.
Take
too.
a sip. Did
But
you
not,
take a
but
sip?
not a whole lot.
Keep in mind, this is just altered, so it hasn't had a chance for that
True.
caramel nose to
And how many drops did you add? 4?
for.
Okay.
Hang on.
So I gotta say, based off of what we've done thus far, I would say that there is a slight difference on the nose.
I would agree.
But I would also point out that the amount that you put in is probably excessive compared to what
Yeah.
they probably use.
I don't think there's any
So-
difference on the palate.
And I really can't taste any difference.
The purple tasted like it had a longer finish to me.
So I would say that there is maybe some subtle differences, but I mean, if you had crappy whiskey there
So-
before and you put
but-
some caramel color in it, it's still going to be crappy whiskey.
But you nailed it. I mean, it's the amount of what we did here. The 4 drops is way excessive compared to. I mean, you would not normally taste
So
this.
when we did this in Scotland 3 years ago or whatever, I'll be honest. So it was blind. I blindfolded myself. The guy had a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and he put E150 in one, and I was able to tell the
It was
discernible difference.
easy.
But he poured a shit ton
He
of
poured-
E150.
he poured
I mean,
some.
he's like he poured a tablespoon and you know. So
That's
to
all
me,
right.
that's way more than you're ever gonna get in a glass or
All
a
right.
bottle.
So you guys were right. The blue had the U150 in it.
It
Blue-
did.
The blue
did.
had 4 drops of U150 in it. Now, does that look like a good whiskey to you?
It does look
in
like a
there.
fabulous whiskey.
That's water with 2 drops.
Wow.
Take a shot of
That's
that.
2 drops.
Water with 2
And
drops
one of
of
these
E150.
has water with 2 drops.
Oh, so we
right.
don't know which one it is.
All right,
Don't
well,
smell it, don't taste
So
it.
one has it, one doesn't.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
so we're backing off the concentration. I mean, do you really see that much difference between the 4 drops? I mean, there is a difference between the 4
Okay.
drops
Yeah.
and 2 drops. But
I can.
It's definitely darker with the 4.
do
wowzer.
you smell it?
Yeah. Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly. Like that's a hint, like almost
Hey,
like a
whiskey
burning
mystery.
Yep.
smell.
Mysteries in the house.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so I had no idea what you guys even said.
That we could smell it.
I don't know about all that.
Now, again, go back and see
They
if you can
both
taste
smell like shitty water.
it. It's Meyer
I know. It
Purified
smells like a
drinking-
well to me.
Have a sip.
purified drinking water.
Yeah. If
Yeah, have a sip of it and see if you can taste it.
it's like a smoldering to that purple.
Tastes like Meyer water.
So he's drinking both of these glasses. They're
Tastes like
water.
Meyer water.
You can't tell the difference.
No.
On the
Not-
nose
not
at
at
all?
Nope. Nope. I got nothing. They're both water.
So this experiment may be slightly colored by the fact that I just added them, and they're.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because there's a nose to this, and as you know, when you if you can smell this, wow, yeah,
It's strong.
there's a strong nose to that.
You smell the tape?
I smell the tape.
That's what I
Interesting.
No, I smell.
I didn't get any difference on the palate at all.
right.
No,
Uh-oh. Drew's dialing in.
no. There's a.
He's too close for missiles.
That-
He's switching to
there's-
guns.
There's a
Dang.
There's a slight difference.
Which one's got? You want
This one.
Yeah, that's right. So that's
I can taste-
That's a black glass. And
I
it's
can
completely
taste.
black.
I can taste like
How do you
I
smell
can
that
taste the
nose?
caramel. I can taste the hint of caramel.
I get it on the nose.
I
Oh,
taste
you
that
do.
smell.
You do. You get just a hint of that caramel on the nose.
Yep. I mean, it's
So-
not strong, but it's there.
So. Okay. so
I
let's
think the
prove it.
takeaway from me from this little experiment is if there's E150 in your whiskey, I'm gonna get it on the nose, not on the palate. And
I would definitely think that's probably.
I would also say that if it's a case where they're going to put some in to get the color right, and then they're going to leave it in a vat for a while to kind of marry everything up, that may waft off, and you may not even be able to tell that part of it.
And honestly,
Yeah.
think about this, right? Think of the. I'm not gonna name them. Think of some whiskeys everybody always talks about with E150 in it. The coloring and the smell. I'll give you that. You're right. But with all the other flavors going on, do you think that E150 is going to caramelize it that much to give it that kind of vanilla or caramel tones to it? The whiskey's not already have in it? I don't think so.
Now,
So-
I will say the one thing that I'm shocked about is how dark it gets it in a hurry.
It's
Wow,
a coloring thing for sure.
So if you are using that,
Two drops of water makes that darker than the entire bottle of Glenmoe.
I would say if you're using that as a marketing ploy to try and get people to think that your whiskey is older or has been aged longer, if you're using some kind of crappy barrels, but they're port barrels still, but you're gonna darken up your whiskey to make it look like it's a good whiskey, that's probably some BS.
I can
right?
tell you this much, that E150 does not have near the amount of effect or effect is really what I'm looking for as a sherry seasoned cask. A
Yes.
wet cask. You know what I mean?
Oh, not even
Now-
close.
Right. So, I mean, I get it. If people want to be, I don't want to use the word snobbish. If you want to be perfectionist and say, I need non-chill filtered whiskey without,
I'm
all
not going to
I-
argue with you.
Yeah, I
That's
get you.
fine.
But I will not turn my nose up at a whiskey because it's been chill filtered or because I know it's got coloring in it. And I appreciate they're trying to make a standard product, but
it's not enough to push you away.
it's not for me. It really
No.
isn't. At the end of the day, it all comes down to whether I enjoy it or not anyway.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Alejandro had a interesting question. He has heard that E150 affects more the form of the whiskey than the flavor, meaning the length of the arrival, development, and finish. I honestly did not taste
No.
any differences, even in the water. Really, there really wasn't a change for me on the palate with it.
That's a really interesting question. I want to know where that came from, Alejandro. I mean, that's a very pointed question, very specific. And the person that brought that point, I'd like to really talk to them more about it and to see where they're coming from, because I didn't get it. I didn't get any of that on this.
I think it's fair to say it's more of a coloring agent than it is anything else.
Yeah, there's really not.
That's it.
And it's not like Scotch is the only one that puts this in there.
Oh no, look at
And I mean, bourbons,
Donner Pass whiskey.
brandy, there's a lot of stuff that, at the end of the day, this is all a consumer product. And there's got to be a level of consistency and quality because they're, like Glenfiddich is putting out 1.2 million cases a year. And the first case has to taste like the last case.
Exactly.
They have to look the same. Like everything has to be consistent because people are, they're paying their money.
I'm gonna drink the trophy for Brianna.
Well,
Brian,
and Cohen
the
was
trophy
saying
glass.
that bourbons don't use no kind of colors. I doubt it. I don't believe it. I'll
Yeah.
guarantee that some of those bourbons that you get that are,
See, you got it
6
from
months
Alfie.
old or whatever you have, you think they're rich and dark, because color. Because
I think you're right.
There's a lot of them, and you kind of have to. It's the same thing with,
Sodas.
American whiskey that it is with Scotch. You don't want to put a bottle of Jack next to another bottle of Jack, and one's kind of light and one's kind of dark.
They're gonna
So
pick a
people are
darker
going to
one.
ask questions.
Right, and I'll tell you what, with this crowd, with who we have on it, and we're fine if they were different. If there were two Johnny Walkers,
Sure.
I get it, I understand. I've been drinking whiskey long enough, I respect that. That's not. But if you haven't been doing this, you're gonna look at that and say, "There's something wrong."
This bottle's bad.
Right, exactly.
You
And
know?
they can't afford for that.
No.
And
not
it's,
at all.
it's so unconscious. I've got the whiskey and the water both here colored. And
You can't even tell.
I took a drink of it. I'm like, oh, that's water.
You cannot tell.
You
Look, they
cannot
look
even
exactly.
tell. These look the same.
Both of your
How do you
drams
know
look almost
which
exactly
one
the same.
is water and which is whiskey?
It just goes to show you that it's a powerful tool that is used in lots of
Yes.
places.
And we've used like none
Nothing.
of this bottle.
And that's going to last us for eternity.
So-
See, maybe that was the problem, is the neck pour.
oh, give me a
I have to think that we'll be saving that bottle for meetups when we can have meetups again.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think this is
Some
a great
experiments
challenge.
with other
Yes.
people because I think a lot of people on here would enjoy doing some kind of challenge like that where they can kind of taste through for
We could do
themselves
one
and see
drop.
if they get it.
Son, Mike Porter says bourbon by law cannot be colored, Andrew.
maybe.
There you go.
How much was that bottle?
$7.
So for $7, we invite you to do your own E150 challenge and let us know. See if you come up with anything different, anything. Everyone says one drop, etc. I mean, the different things you could do. I challenge you guys to tell us that we're wrong and say it does anything more than this coloring.
Maybe
don't
if
think
we
it
had a
is.
5-year
So-
anniversary get together, we could.
A big hitter in the industry that is very against it is John, Compass Box, right?
Yep.
John Glade, absolutely. Maybe he can discern. I'm not. The guy's a master. I get
Well,
it. His
those
nose
guys-
and palate is different than mine.
I can smell it.
At that level, sure, I will nod to the guy. Absolutely.
Is that smell going to be trumping the whiskey?
Well, and I'm kind of curious if we leave that for, put it in a bottle for a week and see if you can still
Or
smell
put it in a vat that's got 5,000 gallons.
Well, and
You
he,
put it in the vat, it
he
sits
just
and
doesn't
then
see
you
the
bottle
need
it.
for it, so why pay for it?
Right.
No, but he has gone on record and said that it does make a difference. You can taste, you can smell. And
Well, we proved tonight.
I don't know that I can taste
Maybe.
it.
I don't know. If
I can smell it.
Oh,
I
and
can
that's why I
smell
was
the
nodding.
difference.
Maybe he can taste it. Maybe
Yeah.
he can. I'm
Yeah,
not.
those
his-
experts probably.
I think you
palate's
would
gotta
need.
be sharper
I
than
mean,
mine.
I'm not lying. I really did taste it in the water, very slightly. But I think you'd have to put a lot in there to
This
really.
is the
start
residue from the dropper. It looks like Edredor.
That's
Pelican.
awesome,
getting-
man.
Yeah, some dark stuff.
Is that water?
So
Yeah.
I'll take a shot of that.
I would say,
No.
my takeaway from this is if there are manufacturers that are putting out vast quantities of whiskey and they're using this to just equalize the color, a couple drops here, a couple drops there, probably I'm not going to taste it.
Nope.
Probably I'm not going to smell it. And I understand why they're using it. It's quality control thing.
Yes.
Whatever. I
Minor-
understand the
minor,
manufacturers
minor.
that aren't going to use it. And if people want to avoid it, I totally get that too. But it's very hard to pick up in the glass.
That's a good experiment.
It's
really
fun.
interesting.
Fun to
I
mess
was
with,
I was
that's
not
for sure.
anticipating you guys to be able to detect it as much, but you did. So that tells me you got a real sensitive nose and you can pick that stuff up. 2 drops in a glass.
Well, we've trained ourselves a little bit from doing this for 5
Well,
years.
that's what I'm
Things
saying.
up.
So what I'm saying here is now granted, this was way more than even what, well, no, it's actually less than what the Whiskey Tribe put into their bottle of water. And so they had 70, so that would be like 3 drops per ounce.
I don't know if they got into tasting so much.
No,
though.
they didn't. But what I'm saying is that's a lot of color. And that's probably not outside the realm of what you
Well,
might
yeah, you're right.
I'll be honest with
I
you.
wonder if you'd have like a big old thing of water and try it
So
and see
maybe
how much it
there's
tastes.
a little bit something
I want to
that.
revisit this at a later date when I haven't had any scotch, any alcohol, and just 2 glasses of water, where I know my palate's fresh, clean. I haven't hit it with any alcohol, and to see if I can taste the difference. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I do know that my palate's been affected by having a couple of glasses already, and it's
Very
interesting.
good.
So
It was
Very
fun.
interesting,
It,
yeah.
it was super interesting.
That was a cool challenge.
this is where we get into the fun part
Oh,
with
shit.
you guys
Should I do this or should Dr.
and
Scotch do this?
gals.
You can do it.
We are going to get into the what's in the dram section. Do you know? Finally, have you
Don't
been
ruin the
informed?
surprise
He knows
for
what
me.
it is.
Okay, so each one of us have a glass that we poured before the show. All of our glasses are different, and you guys have the option to ask us questions and try to guess what is in our dram. So,
So why don't we go around and you can start us off and talk about what you smell.
Okay.
And then we'll go to
wow.
Andrew and then we'll go myself and then we'll go smell. And you guys can ask whoever you want
all
questions.
right. So for the podcasters, I've got a fairly dark whiskey here. It looks a lot like that E150 water, to be honest with you, but
now we're all like, is it you?
It doesn't smell like. Does it smell like caramel color?
no, this one kind of opens up the sinuses a wee bit. Sweet.
I have no
Are
idea.
you drinking what I'm drinking?
No,
Because mine's
Man, look
sweet.
how red that is.
this is really
I
sweet.
might want to drink yours. Mine has no color to it.
And it smells very, very potent. So I'm gonna say this is a high alcohol. Gotta be 48, 50, maybe 52, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Wow, I want to taste it.
Mine's minerally. I don't think it's peated, but I smell minerals. I smell a little bit of dark fruit, but the minerals are really coming through.
So Eric asked a question about the E150. Eric, wait, when was the last time you compared bottles of the same brand to compare colors to see if they're consistent? If nobody does, then it's not, E150 is not needed. I haven't, but when you have 5 or 6 bottles of Johnny Walker on the shelf next to each other and one's white and one's dark, E150 is needed. Now, that's a different group of people you're asking this amongst. I ask somebody who buys 1 bottle of Scotch a year, or if that, maybe it makes a difference. I don't know.
I think for the people that are watching our video right now, for the most part, are big into, single cask, cask
No,
strength
Alejandro.
ABV, like straight up scotches that are higher end. If you ask somebody that only buys Glenfiddich 12, and that's what they've been drinking for, well, maybe not that one because it's in a green bottle.
Okay, so everybody else needs to get through their glasses because everybody's asking me questions.
Well, go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get your
Oh,
done.
okay. Are we just doing me?
Yeah.
So, Alejandro, no, it is not a Speyside. And Jimmy Drammer, it is not an SMWS. That's a pretty good guess. You're getting to know me.
Seems
Andrew,
fair.
are you drinking a long row?
It is not long row.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
wow, that was a really pointed
there's
guess.
I wish I had a
there
long
is
row
some
here.
rich fruits in the flavor though. Doesn't the ABV
No
isn't
peat.
particularly high.
No peat on mine, Nick. I got no peat. I got probably too sweet for me.
No, remember, we got 30-second delay when you ask for something.
So
Right.
is it Macallan Edition 5
No,
Buckley House.
it's not McKellen.
or Decent 20?
Nope, mine's not decent 20 either. I don't know if they were talking to me or you on that one,
You.
but the Blocklinger wants to know if the doc is hanging out. You staying around, Doc?
I'll hang
I
out for
think the
now.
doc should stay around. I mean, we can talk about Andrew when the doc's here.
That's true.
Because Andrew-
Is it a blend, Mark?
It is not a blend.
Is it a Campbelltown?
It is not a Campbelltown.
Okay.
Alejandro, no. I don't think it's peated, so it's not like Jake.
Jake 18.
That bottle's gone by the way.
Mark, is it a Highland? He's consuming.
Ooh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's high
It's got some
ABV.
high ABV.
Brings the thunder.
Comes back with a little.
Somebody
kick on the
asked,
back end.
did you ask, is it SMWS?
Okay, so
High ABV, it's got
it's a lot sweeter than I'm used to. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my wheelhouse, to steal a phrase from Andrew, but
Which one is he?
I respect it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the whiskey for what it is. I'm enjoying it. It's not something I would reach for seeing it on a bar. How's that?
Okay, so is it a Glen Scotia?
It is not a Scotia. It's not an Edwardauer. No Glendronach 12 on that. Boy, that's...
Did you answer if it was Highlands?
No, it's not a Highlands.
Okay,
Is it an
about Lowland?
unpeated Isla?
It's not a Lowlands.
Wow.
No,
Good
it is.
Lord.
It is not an unpeated Isla
And it's
either.
not an SMWS.
It's not an SMWS.
This is tough. Even I'm having.
Nope.
No, it's not a Highland. It's
Can
not
I
a
ask a
Lowland.
question?
Oh.
What's-
Might as well.
well, might as well. Ask a question.
Is it a Scotch?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Dun, dun,
That completely changes the
Everybody's off.
equation.
Like, what the hell?
We'll let you guys stew on that for a minute while we.
Go around the horn.
So mine's real sweet. I wouldn't say it tastes young, but it doesn't have a lot of rich maturity to it. Those are for him still.
Yeah. So keep talking, because I don't know what's in your glass. I might start
You know,
guessing.
it's really nice on the nose. Fruit. I'm getting more as I taste it. It's coming out more medium to low ABV. It's definitely not hot. It's not a cast strength anything.
Is it a blend?
Are you asking or are they asking?
Well, let's leave it for that. Let's give them some questions, because I've got questions. So
No, it's not Crown Royal.
mine is not. Mine is not a
You
cop.
know you don't want the ground.
I like this. This
Glenn
is really tasty.
Gerber asks if you're drinking a Jura.
No,
That's a good guess.
that is a good guess.
I'd like to be drinking a German.
Mine is a Scotch. Yes.
Yours is a Scotch.
Yes.
When you guys ask questions, put the name of the person you're asking the question for, since we're kind of mixing this up a little
Mine
bit.
is not a blend.
Andrew, thank you, Alejandro. And yours is not a blend.
Mm-hmm.
So can I ask a question about yours, since we're asking questions? Is yours a Highland? Was that asked already?
It is not a Highland.
It is not a Highland.
Mm-hmm.
Can I remind you that all Spacesides are Highlands?
No.
Okay.
I'm the doctor.
Where's the
I'm,
line?
I'm surprised no one's calling like peated stuff already.
So it's not Lagavulin distillation. That's again, it's not peated. So
So,
Ovaltine.
Alejandro, if you're asking mine, it is not an Irish.
how many Irish do you know that are that color?
No, there's. Well, I
I've
know some
never
Irishes
seen an
that are
Irish
that
that
color,
color.
but not that sickly sweet.
why don't you give him a hint? Is there anything
It's
you can give him a hint
sweet.
on?
It's overly sweet.
to me
it's
it
dark
is.
color.
The clue I want to give him gives him. Well, it sets him in the right.
It's a punch in the face.
It's a punch in the face. It smells a little Cornish.
All right. Is it an island, Andrew?
Yes,
Oh, it is an island.
Oh, you've got an island.
I do have an island.
I don't even know what I have from the islands back here.
What do you got, Drew?
I have a very
Not
nice sherry bomb, if you will.
Oh, sherry bomb.
Really?
Yes, very nice.
So it's got the color for it. Do we know if it's natural color and
Alejandro asked.
It's
it
low,
is, Alejandro?
It's a low ABV, like 43 maybe.
A Highland low ABV.
I didn't say it was a Highland. That's good, but it's very
I thought
sherry.
he asked them. Didn't you ask him if it was a Highland?
No, I asked you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
not
an island, right? We know that from Andrew.
So it's not Talisker.
This game's
it's
getting a lot
not
harder than I
Aaron.
thought it was going to be.
I guess that's funny. Aaron, isn't Aaron from Taiwan? That would be an island, but it is a Scotch. So I did commit to that.
What you got there, Sean?
So you gotta ask more general questions to hone in. You can't ask for like a certain distillery. It's not a waste of your time.
Mine,
It's not specific. It's too
mine is
specific. Wow, that
a
is
little higher
dark.
ABV.
No, Alejandro.
Little higher.
Okay.
It's a sweeter, older flavor profile. So I get like tea and like dark caramel.
It's dark as shit.
It
Yeah,
is
it's
dark
super
as shit.
dark.
It doesn't sound like a
That's really dark.
So everybody's going crazy on the bourbons. So no Buffalo Trace, no Weller's,
It's my
no
bar, I
Elijah.
forget, so I don't have
You
a
guys
lot.
can't see the bottle on Drew's bar that I pulled this from. Not Nika by the Barrel, not Wild Turkey or Old Forester. You would know if it was Old Forester. Not Knob Creek.
You guys want a hint?
There's maybe some heather in there.
So tell me
No, I
about
think
yours
it's
here.
it's more dark red.
So palate-wise, it's got an oldish flavor profile. So like old leather and books, but it's still got some of that like tea and that astringent quality to
I
it.
got a couple guesses.
It's pretty tasty stuff, man. Oh, that's a great guess. Noah's Mill. You'd have to go to my bar to get that, though.
Negative on the Eagle Rare or the Noah's Mill. Sean isn't vomiting, so we know it isn't Johnny Walker White Water.
You
Now
know
with that
what's
color.
funny, Eric Wade? I suggested using the White Walker for the experiment this evening because none of us would want to taste that, but it would. If there was caramel in there, it would stand out like a
totally
sword.
taste it because it's the only flavor in there.
That's true, George. I don't know where the questions to Andrew are coming from. It's Dr.
Thank you,
Scotch.
George.
Brienne, it is a blend. Mine is a blend.
You're drinking a blend?
What?
Really? Talk to me more about that. I wasn't gonna
Yeah, so
guess
talk to
that.
me more about that blend. Describe it again.
Jimmy Drammer, it's not an
It
Isla.
shouldn't take much out of you here. It's
Not Talisker.
40 ABV and it's a little sherry bomb. So
Johnny Walker. No.
I,
Is that?
this is all it's gonna take. These guys are
I
gonna
have
get
a I have a guess.
These guys are
I
gonna
do
get
too.
it pretty quick here in a minute.
Not
I think it's
for,
what I warmed up with.
Probably.
Kentucky Owl confiscated. All right, so
We're
let's.
getting close,
So
Andy.
for mine, it is a Scotch. And it's an island, so we can talk through the islands first. If you guys want
Teapot's good.
to ask questions about what islands might it be on, that might help.
Uh-oh.
Somebody
hang
guessed
on.
it.
I think Justin just
Justin.
nailed it. Justin's the man. What do we got
Boy,
here?
now you know which Bookers.
We'll give the guy that.
He's
Oh,
got
Jesus,
and
don't
he just
get him
nailed mine
started.
too.
Oh, Justin
Yep.
Grouse.
Naked
Yeah.
Justin
I might
is
have said
Wow, he
man.
pulled out two
I-
guns.
So
man.
Booker's is what I poured, and I poured it because I knew you guys knew I wouldn't drink this, and it's pretty good. It's 62.35% ABV.
Blocklinger's
It's a
getting
punch in the
close.
face. It's
Good
good.
old fashions, by the way.
Oh, it's a very respectful whiskey. I how can you not enjoy it?
No,
It's
it's
not my bag, baby, but I can enjoy this
I
glass.
smell it. Been a while.
That's nice. I like Booker's, man. Yeah, Justin, you took him down.
Oh man.
All right, I'll give you guys a hint on mine. It is a Speyside.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
There's only 50 distilleries there.
I didn't say it was a big hint,
It is a
but it
Southwest.
cuts out a bunch of other ones, man.
Gerben is a Southwest island.
So Spice Street, that's what someone guessed on you? I don't know if you have Spice Street back there. That's not a bad guess.
Well, they don't know that,
I know they don't.
but it's a blend. Oh, they already got it.
There we
didn't
got it. Yeah.
they?
What was
Naked
it?
Grouse.
Oh, it
Naked
was
Grouse.
Naked Grouse. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Booker's
that
is
bottle
awesome.
is so freaking good.
So we've got Bookers, we've got Naked Grouse, we have an island. Nobody's even asked much about you.
I told him it's a Speyside.
yeah.
I tried to help
Is it
him
high
out.
ABV?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
It's up there.
I mean,
Glenn wrote this.
no.
Okay.
No,
Nope.
Justin, you're the only one that's close enough. You need to keep hitting it.
Yeah, Justin, you gotta keep going. You're the one.
Aberlour,
Vegas Art's like,
no.
yeah, Justin, shut up.
Nice
Sean?
try with the Aberlour.
Aberlour? No.
I'm almost out of it. So
Is it Scapa? I don't have Scapa here,
It
so
is
I know
not.
it's not Scapa.
I'll
Yes,
say it's
well-
under 15 years.
That's what
it
batch number
island?
was. It doesn't have a
Under
batch
15
number
years.
on it. I don't know.
Not Talisker 10. It's not Talisker. That's been asked a couple times.
Wow, I don't know what that is.
Not open.
It's not open, but it's an island.
Then you said it wasn't peated? Or it was peated? Not peated.
Mm.
Huh.
Is it an Orkney?
Oh, I know what it is.
Nope.
It's not an
It's,
Orkney.
it's actually a tricky one.
It is tricky.
It's a trickster.
It's a trickster.
Tasty though. It's a lot more
Wow.
tasty than I remember.
Think about islands and
Ooh,
being tricky.
everyone says you're drinking a Tamdu.
I wish.
So you're right, and it's not on the allergy.
I don't know if Drew has any
Impression.
Tamdu over
I
here.
think what Sean's drinking might be in the camera.
Ooh, Justin, you are nailing some good ones tonight.
Justin's
It
on
is
fire.
an unpeated Isla.
That is correct.
Uh-huh.
I like it. Highland Park for Drew. No,
Well,
mine's already done.
That's too
I mean,
dark
so
for a
I will
Glen
I will answer to both Andrew and Dr.
smell it?
Scotch. So
Yeah, you do.
Justin's getting close.
He is very close. It's gonna take him.
I-
He'll nail
I
it down.
might- I
He may
might
be,
have it.
He may be 4 for 4 here in a minute.
He might hit it. And
Justin's
he has an
zeroing in.
uncanny ability to
You're,
understand.
you're
what
going to
we're
win
talking
some caramel coloring if you don't watch out, man.
about. I will give you 4 drops of caramel coloring. if you
Highland
can
Park
come up
for
with that.
for Andrew. No, it's we've already got that it's an unpeated island. We know
It
that
is.
much.
That took me a little bit. That was a good one. That threw because you want to think.
Gerben
think
says
that it's,
Port Charlotte.
Nope.
Ah,
Somebody was close.
Michael got it.
Boone 12.
Boone 12.
You got it.
Wow.
Alejandro hit it too, right?
Right,
Like
right
instantly.
afterwards.
Sorry, man. Sunday evening, gotcha.
All right, we have
Alejandro.
one left, so you guys can all zero and
Oh,
focus
so
on
good.
Sean.
It's
So,
a lot
Bo-
Mine
better.
starts with a
With a what?
A G,
Glen.
a G, a G.
So Alejandro, I wish it was Boone 18.
Does it? Damn,
Good.
that's not what I was
A
thinking.
Glen. Wow, that's weird. There aren't many whiskeys.
I know.
Normally
That should
it's
narrow
still-
it right down.
That would be a Glen.
Let me see that glass again. He poured you that. That's some bullshit.
Well, you were the one that poured the bookers.
Damn it. If I'd have known I could have poured that.
I would have poured you Bookers.
So you're gonna they probably don't know. Well, they might see it up there. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
You don't know what it is yet. You
keep in
think
mind,
I think
I
do,
did.
but I don't know.
I did say it's an island, but Isla is an island.
I
So
don't even know where my bottle is.
Sean Glenfiddich 12.
No.
No, that's a
It's a
wee
Glen.
bit darker
this
than
this thing
But
is
not that
high
one.
ABV, very
High
dark
ABV.
sherry.
man, I need to
Kicker.
look around.
It
Glen
brings the
Dronic
thunder,
21 is
man.
getting closer, but that's still not it. Glen Grant, nope.
I mean, I might have some Glendronic 21 later. There's one up there.
There
in
is
there.
one
There's
up
one up
there.
there.
And it's almost it's a wounded zebra.
Oh shit.
We killed mine last week.
Well, we know what we do with those. Smell blood in the water right
That's
there,
wounded.
man.
All right. Oh, we're getting closer. We're gonna give him like 15 more seconds.
Yep, because we've
All
got an
right.
after show to
Keep,
go.
keep blessing. It is a more uncommon Glen. I will tell you that.
Something that
Glenn Dalmore.
I'm trying to think about. It's got a lot of syllables.
Yep. There we go.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What is it?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Nick got
Nick
it.
is getting close.
What's Nick say?
Glen Alecky.
Oh,
Which one is it?
Glen Alecky.
It's a Glen Alecky.
Well, you didn't tell anybody about.
And now the sharks are freaking swarming.
Swarming.
Glenallachie,
I don't even know-
13 negative.
What do you have up
I think
there?
it's 2005. isn't it?
No,
10, 11, 12,
It's
13,
not-
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, it's a year.
don't show it.
Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
too late now. They just showed it.
That's okay.
It's a 2004.
2004.
So,
15 year.
it's the
It's the
15.
15. Everyone's
Everyone.
got it.
Everyone was the first one to put Glenallachie 15.
All right,
It's
we're
a-
gonna have to
it's an
refine the
excellent
guess the dram
bottle.
because that took way
Yeah,
too
that
long.
was tough.
Maybe you should have a
was fun.
couple up here.
Yeah,
for them
maybe
to
like
pick
which
from.
one is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We could at least put the 4 or maybe 6 bottles
When
up
we
there.
do each other, I just wanted to engage you guys. Have
It
some
was fun to get
but-
you guys engaged and thinking about all these different scotches and
That
stuff.
Boone
So that
12
was the
was good.
point.
You know what you want to drink when you come over to Drew's place.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time, and it's time for the Patreon after show. So
That's what
Patreons,
we're- and
stick
just
around.
just so you know, we are using coin 83 that we used for the Glenfiddich 12 review.
Yep. We're
So-
getting kind of close.
Still,
on our
still
own, so-
available.
Hey guys, we had a great time talking about E150 tonight. We had the doc in the house all night. How cool was that? I mean,
Cool.
not that we didn't want Andrew, but
But you know Andrew's drinking the good stuff in the green room.
that's not true. He drinks plastic
He's
handle.
drinking E150.
Anyway,
He's happy though.
good conversation. It was great to see everybody tonight. For our folks down in the South Gulf
Be
Coast,
safe.
be safe. Leanne,
Yeah,
we're
for
thinking
sure.
about you. We're keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. You guys take care. We'll see our patrons in the post after show. And cheers,
Oh,
everybody.
by
Cheers,
the way,
guys.
before I forget,
Ooh.
next week we are starting a new series. It's going to be Off the Chains. We have a whole top 10 thing we got going on. We've got 10 unique blinds that we've already bottled up. It's going to be a top 10 battle
Under 50
under $50
that you chose.
that you guys chose that we're gonna do. It's gonna be epic. So
Do we need to pay Whiskey Mystery for like copyright?
for
that's
copyright.
right. It's whiskey mystery style.
Hey, before we do, since you're talking about future things, we do have a patron-only show coming up, a patron-only live show on a Thursday coming up probably in the next week or two. Patrons, be on the lookout for the announcement on that. Probably can't do it next week since we didn't really tell everybody else that we were doing it this week. So probably 2 weeks from now we'll pull that one off. We've got a lot of other cool things going on. Patrons, we did send out a message, so hopefully you guys got that and know what's on the horizon. We got some cool things. We've got a patron Scotch swap, Super Santa.
Secret Santa's coming up.
All right.
If you like Scotch samples, owls are flying.
It's what I'm talking about. So anyway, hey man, happy Thursday.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks a lot,
everyone.
guys.
Love y'all.